To the GPT-4 developer demo live stream. Honestly, it's kind of hard for me to believe that this day is here. OpenAI has been building this technology really since we started the company, but for the past 2 years, we've been really focused on delivering GPT-4. That started with rebuilding our entire training stack, actually training the model, and then seeing what it was capable of, trying to figure out its capabilities, its risks, working with partners in order to test it in real-world scenarios, really tuning its behavior, optimizing the model, getting it available so that you can use it. And so today, our goal is to show you a little bit of how to make GPT-4 shine, how to really get the most out of it, where its kind of weaknesses are, where we're still working on it, and just how to really use it as a good tool, a good partner. So if you're interested in participating in the stream, if you go to our Discord, so that's discord.gg/OpenAI, there's comments in there, and we'll take a couple of audience suggestions. So the first thing I want to show you is the first task that GPT-4 could do that we never really got 3.5 to do. And the way to think about this is all throughout training that you're constantly doing all this work. It's 2 a.m., the pager goes off, you fix the model, and you're always wondering, is it going to work? Is all this effort actually going to pan out? And so we all had a pet task that we really liked and that we would all individually be trying to see, is the model capable of it now? And I'm going to show you the first one that we had a success for 4, but never really got there for 3.5. So I'm just going to copy the top of our blog post from today, going to paste it into our playground. Now this is our new chat completions playground that came out 2 weeks ago. I'm going to show you first with GPT 3.5. 4 has the same API to it, the same playground. The way that it works is you have a system message where you explain to the model what it's supposed to do. And we've made these models very steerable, so you can provide it with really any instruction you want, whatever you dream up. And the model will adhere to it pretty well. And in the future, it will get increasingly powerful at steering the model very reliably. You can then paste whatever you want as a user. The model will return messages as an assistant. And the way to think of it is that we're moving away from sort of just raw text in, raw text out, where you can't tell where different parts of the conversation come from, but towards this much more structured format that gives the model the opportunity to know, well, this is the user asking me to do something that the developer didn't intend. I should listen to the developer here. All right, so now time to actually show you the task that I'm referring to. So everyone's familiar with summarize this, let's say, article into a sentence, okay? Getting a little more specific, but where every word begins with G. So this is 3.5. Let's see what it does. Yeah, it kind of didn't even try. Just gave up on the task. This is pretty typical for 3.5 trying to do this particular kind of task. If it's sort of a very kind of stilted article or something like that, maybe it can succeed, but for the most part, 3.5 just gives up. But let's try the exact same prompt, the exact same system message in GPT-4. So kind of borderline, whether you want to count AI or not. But so let's say AI doesn't count. That's cheating. So fair enough. The model happily accepts my feedback. So now, to make sure it's not just good for G's, I'd like to turn this over to the audience. I'll take a suggestion on what letter to try next. In the meanwhile, while I'm waiting for our moderators to pick the lucky letter, I will give a try with A. But in this case, I'll say GPT-4 is fine. Why not? Also, pretty good summary. So I'll hop over to our Discord. All right. Wow. People are being a little ambitious here. I'm really trying to put the model through the paces. We're going to try Q. Which, if you think about this for a moment, I want the audience to really think about how would you do a summary of this article that all starts with Q. It's not easy. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, so I've shown you summarizing an existing article. I want to show you how you can flexibly combine ideas between different articles. So I'm going to take this article that was on Hacker News yesterday, copy paste it into the same conversation so it has all the context of what we were just doing. I'm going to say, find one common theme between this article and the GPT-4 blog. So this is an article about Pinecone, which is a Python web app development framework, and it's making the technology more accessible, user-friendly. If you don't think that was insightful enough, you can always give some feedback and say, that was not insightful enough. Please. No, I'll just leave it there. Leave it up to the model to decide. So bridging the gap between powerful technologies and practical applications. Seems not bad. And of course, you can ask for any other kind of task you want using its flexible language understanding and synthesis. You can ask for something like, now turn the GPT-4 blog post into a rhyming poem. Picked up on OpenAI evals, open source for all, helping to guide answering the call, which, by the way, if you'd like to contribute to this model, please give us evals. We have an open source evaluation framework that will help us guide and all of our users understand what the model is capable of and to take it to the next level. So there we go. This is consuming existing content using GPT-4 with a little bit of creativity on top. But next, I want to show you how to build with GPT-4. What it's like to create with it as a partner. And so the thing we're going to do is we're going to actually build a Discord bot. I'll build it live and show you the process, show you debugging, show you what the model can do, where its limitations are, and how to work with them in order to sort of achieve new heights. So the first thing I'll do is tell the model that this time it's supposed to be an AI programming assistant. Its job is to write things out in pseudocode first and then actually write the code. And this approach is very helpful to let the model break down the problem into smaller pieces. And then that way, you're not kind of asking it to just come up with a super hard solution to a problem all in one go. It also makes it very interpretable because you can see exactly what the model was thinking, and you can even provide corrections if you'd like. So here is the prompt that we're going to ask it. This is the kind of thing that 3.5 would totally choke on if you've tried anything like it. But so we're going to ask for a Discord bot that uses the GPT-4 API to read images and text. Now, there's one problem here, which is this model's training cutoff is in 2021, which means it has not seen our new chat completions format. So I literally just went to the blog post from 2 weeks ago, copy-pasted from the blog post, including the response format. It has not seen the new image extension to that, and so I just kind of wrote that up in just very minimal detail about how to include images. And now the model can actually leverage that documentation that it did not have memorized, that it does not know. And in general, these models are very good at using information that it's been trained on in new ways and synthesizing new content. And you can see that right here, that it actually wrote an entirely new bot. Now, let's actually see if this bot is going to work in practice. So you should always look through the code to get a sense of what it does. Don't run untrusted code from humans or from AIs. And one thing to note is that the Discord API has changed a lot over time, and particularly that there's one feature that has changed a lot since this model was trained. Give it a try. In fact, yes, we are missing the intents keyword. This is something that came out in 2020. So the model does know it exists, but it doesn't know which version of the Discord API we're using. So are we out of luck? Well, not quite. We can just simply paste to the model exactly the error message. Not even going to say, hey, this is from running your code. Could you please fix it? We'll just let it run. And the model says, oh yeah, whoops, the intents argument. Here's the correct code. Now let's give this a try. Once again, kind of making sure that we understand what the code is doing. Now, a second issue that can come up is it doesn't know what environment I'm running in. And if you notice, it says, hey, here's this inscrutable error message, which if you've not used Jupyter Notebook a lot with async IO before, you probably have no idea what this means. But fortunately, once again, you can just sort of say to the model, hey, I'm using Jupyter and would like to make this work. Can you fix it? And the specific problem is that there's already an event loop running, so you need to use this nest async IO library. You need to call nest async IO.apply. The model knows all of this. correctly instantiates all of these pieces into the bot. It even helpfully tells you, oh, you're running in Jupyter. Well, you can do this bang pip install in order to install the package if you don't already have it. That was very helpful. So now we'll run, and it looks like something happened. So the first thing I'll do is go over to our Discord, and I will paste in a screenshot of our Discord itself. So remember, GPT-4 is not just a language model. It's also a vision model. In fact, it can flexibly accept inputs that intersperse images and text arbitrarily, kind of like a document. Now, the image feature is in preview, so this is going to be a little sneak peek. It's not yet